This morning, I saw a wonderful post from a former student that's making its way around the internet, and it just goes like this: Don't believe everything that you think. And it's a wonderful little saying. And I kind of played on this and I said, well, don't think everything that you believe. And both of these kind of are capable of creating a little distance between the thinking mind and consciousness. But when I do these videos, I also picture myself kind of at the peak of my neurosis in my 20s, and what kind of video would I have wanted someone to present that could have kind of helped me out in that situation? And of course, it has to be very practical because we don't really control our beliefs and we don't really control our thoughts. And so I can kind of show you, and I've done this in other videos, if I just say, look, don't think of the number 13, and you just reflexively think of the number 13. But if we get into actions, I say, don't raise your hand. Well, it'd be kind of weird if you raised your hand. And so the Buddha knew this. And so if you look at his Eightfold Path, actually four of the practices are actually based on behaviors. Things like right action, right speech, right livelihood, and even meditation. I mean, even breathing is one of the things that we can actually control. And this is one of the things that cognitive behavioral therapies are kind of catching up to. They recognize the importance of beliefs. And so a cognitive therapist might do something called like a thinking report. And they'll actually show you how your thinking will cause certain beliefs. And these will have certain feelings as a consequence. And then these will eventually go into certain actions. So if I really think I'm going to do horribly on a test, that's going to create a whole set of feelings. And then I may have to deal with those feelings and by being up all night and then actually kind of do a self-fulfilling prophecy and then end up screwing up the test. And it all points back to thoughts. So thoughts are usually at the very beginning of cognitive behavioral therapy. But really, the Buddha went kind of in an opposite way, and he actually put actions as really the beginning of the whole chain. And so it's what we do which creates thoughts, which creates feelings. And remember, the Eightfold Path is kind of in a circle, and that's very important because, in the same way that our actions are creating beliefs, our beliefs can sometimes influence our actions. And so it was actually, what, 2,000 plus years before cognitive science started catching up with this. And a psychologist, Fessinger, came up with what in psychology is one of the best known, best supported theories. It's got to its name, and that's cognitive dissonance theory. And cognitive dissonance theory is very, very simple. It's this idea that there has to be consistency between our actions and our beliefs, and if they're inconsistent in some way, then we feel actual pain, and the mind has to resolve that. And there's so much data, but I'll just give you one of the real simple studies. And so students typically are not in favor of increasing tuition. So they'll get a student to go up and volunteer to make a speech that they should increase tuition. And then they assess their belief afterwards. And actually, most of the time, after they give a pro increase tuition speech, their beliefs have changed to reflect what they've actually done. And so what this does is it sort of points to a really important uh, beginning to all of this. So if you find yourself in a situation where you have a lot of difficulty with your thoughts, and you can't control your thoughts, and you can't control your beliefs, well, go to the place where you actually do have some control. And that's one of the things that the Buddha pointed out. You have control of your actions. And so instead of, wanting to be grateful, just do being grateful. And so, uh, and this is something I've talked about several times, the consequences of complaining. And so if you go out and you complain, that's a behavior. And what's going to happen is your thoughts and feelings are going to follow from that behavior. And so rather than being concerned with thinking what you believe or believing what you think, I think the real simple message here is just be careful what you do and don't always do everything that you think. So give that a shot.